My name's Jim Whining, and I'm the president of Acts Ministry. The 2019 event for our ministry is the Acts Fest. It will be held at the Executive Plaza there in Springfield off of Battlefield Road, and it will be from July 19 to July 21. And I want to just go through a few things that are going to happen. It's very special on Friday, and that's Friday the 19th at the Plaza Towers, there at the corner of Glenstone and Sunshine, Springfield, Missouri. Now, all of the workshop activities will be conducted on the third floor in our offices space. The actual day-to-day operation is, as many of you know, is on the second floor, Suite 216. During the morning hours, of course, on Friday, there will be regular programming going on. The morning drive, of course, is on at 8 o'clock, and then the happy hour is on at 9 o'clock. And so programming there is until 10 o'clock in the morning. But we will be having events going on up on the third floor dealing with Acts Fest, the celebration of unity in Christ through the Holy Spirit. At 8 o'clock, or shortly before, whenever people will be greeted probably from 7:30 in the morning on with a fellowship and also with the opportunity to take communion. The Veterans Church, which meets every Thursday night at the Plaza Towers and also has the services on the second and fourth Sundays of the month, 2 o'clock. They will be there. Pastors Leo Froman and Bruce Pearson will be offering communion. And then we will kick off our workshop time. And our workshop time is, of course, subject to some modifications. But the first thing on the agenda for the workshop will be a welcoming and getting the word out. And that will be done by Bishop Dennis Everson. He will be talking about the importance of a ministry in the secular world making a difference by explaining what we're about as a ministry. And literally, with that mission, doing the right thing. Dennis will be there discussing, getting the word out from 8 until 8:30. At 8:30, I will be discussing that infamous report called the SRG. The SRG for ministers, for ministries, and for people who are affiliated with Acts Ministry under our general 501c3 cover. They will have an opportunity, of course, with that SRG to report what's going on in their ministry. And that is what I'll be talking about. It's very important. The SRG is the way we as Acts Ministry know what our subordinates are doing. We also become a vocal point for you when people call up to find out what you are doing in the ministry, what you are doing as a nonprofit, etc. Very important contact base, because people will contact us significantly all during the year. And so this could be a real asset for you as you're growing your ministries and also what you're trying to do as a nonprofit. At 9:30, Matt Pearson, who is the station manager for Acts Television Network, he also runs the radio station, will be here to discuss the website. A website includes the Real News Review, Facebook, and posting. Very important ingredients. He'll be joined by Jason Cobb, who is his associate on the show The Morning Drive. At 10:30, Pastor Ernie Moore will be talking about physical fitness in the body of Christ. Many of us, as we move on in our pastoring years, we develop a larger belt size. And a lot of that is about the problem of having enough time to get our body properly exercised. Pastor Ernie Moore is a physical therapist. He is a trainer. He's a boxer. He's an awesome guy in God, and he will be here to explain some of the things that we can do to keep ourselves physically fit as we do our ministries. At about 11:30, we may have a special guest, who will be talking about some of the exciting aspects of construction. Yes, construction. The construction industry is the most active industry in America today. And quite frankly, what does that involve? That really involves the home. And many of us have homes that need to be taken care of. And the construction industry and ourselves have some real needs. And I know that myself personally, as my wife and our house now is 25 years old. And anyway, he's going to give a few, the gentleman will be Mr. Bobby Adams, Adams Construction Company, and he will be discussing some of the really neat secrets of how to keep your house safe and also secure from problems. And it'll be just a brief, this is kind of a little bit of a digression from our normal workshop periods of time. At 1 o'clock, we will be talking about opportunities in ACTS Television Network. And that's opportunities for individuals, that's opportunities for shows, that's everything you can think of that we can broadcast for you on Facebook, on YouTube, and on our website. Literally what you're about in your ministry, what you're trying to accomplish as an individual may well be a combination of Christian and non-Christian activities we can incorporate into a program. Our programs right now are hour-long, and we have programs from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., pardon me, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., Monday through Friday. In other words, 2 hours a day. And well, obviously we would like to increase that. We'd also like to increase our staff in the station, which is principally volunteer, to accommodate a greater audience with more people consistently. After that discussion, we'll of course take a break for lunch, and at 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock we will be talking about social needs. We'll be talking about everything from the Kidney Foundation fund, which we set up, to projects we have done in autism, veterans, etc. And we will be entertaining other opportunities for social assistance and social awareness. That is a principal cornerstone of ACTS ministry as we develop the mission of doing the right thing. We as Christians showing what that is about. So that hour from 2 to 3 is going to be donated to people literally brainstorming with things that they see in the world that need to be addressed, that need to be fixed, that need to be helped, supported, etc. It can be housing, it can be transportation, and we want to get as many of people's participation and feedback. I might mention that the workshop will be conducted in our seminar room on the 3rd floor, and its capacity is about 30 people. So if you intend to come, please let us know in advance. We want to make certain there's a chair available for you. You can do that by sending your advice to us about your participation to 4321ACTS, that's ACTS, at gmail.com. And we'll hold your spot in that workshop time period. You can also see all of these shows and programs as to how they're going to unfold by going to our website, actsmediagroup.com, click on ACTS Ministry, and then at the right under below it'll say ACTS Fest. Click onto that, and there you'll see all the postings involving ACTS Fest. And finally, at about 3 o'clock to 5, ACTS will have its annual closed-door board meeting, which will essentially be an assessment of where we are as a ministry and what we need to do to step forward in helping not only people, of course our subordinates, but also churches that are involved in supporting different activities into the community. If this information is of any help to you, please use it and let us know if we can provide you more. This will be posted on our Facebook and also on YouTube for you for the reference. But anyway, if you'd like the written hard copy, go again to www.actsmediagroup.com, click on the ACTS Ministry portion of the page, and it will come down and show ACTS Fest, and go right to ACTS Fest.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jay Hunt with In the Game Insurance with my guest Pam today.
Hi there, guys.
Second week in a row Pam's going to be my guest. She was so good
Delighted.
last week asking questions. We're going to see what we can do this week.
Okay, I'm on it.
The question has come in about claims.
Ooh.
And you guys have had a little bit of
Yes,
experience with some claims.
We've had some claims.
You know, in an earlier episode, Chris Cooper, the president of In the Game Insurance, talked about if you have an issue, call us. And that's going to be one of the best advice that I can get you through. Every state has their own regulations. Your agent in the Game Insurance, Ross, myself, or Chris, are going to be able to walk you through what you need to do. But there are some downsides or some plus sides and what have you. But if you were just to call up the 800 number and go through the prompts, it could be a little bit disturbing because you're already in a stressful moment, wouldn't you think?
Yes, I think so.
When we have damage done to anything. So today we're going to talk a little bit about when not to file a claim, and some of the things that we need to do, because again, each state has its own regulation. In fact, there was a KCTV5 had a news story with Betsy Webster the other day where a tree had fallen on a lady's car, second time in 2 years.
Oh, no.
And it wasn't her tree. It was her neighbor's tree. So they went to the Kansas Board of Insurance and they asked, well, who's responsible for it? Well, it's not where the tree started, it's where the tree ends.
Oh, really?
Yep, so it's not the homeowner's claim unless they can get in there and prove that the tree was weakened, but the litigation through all that could be quite long and lengthy, and so.
I didn't know that.
So first of all, definitely get a hold of your agent, okay?
Okay.
Because we're going to be able to walk you through and follow the directions of that agent. He's going to put your mind at ease. He's going to tell you some of the do's and don'ts, and we're going to go through there. There's a lot of different things that keep copies of all documentation. If you have an adjuster comes out, don't necessarily go and have things fixed before you're done. And we've talked many a times on this show, let's use our telephones and let's record the damage. And not only have we recorded all of our possessions, we've already got that saved for an insurance claim, because we can't go back through and say, oh yeah, I had that real expensive TV that just got stolen with no proof. You can't do that. But take pictures and document as much as you can of the damage that's happened to your home, and water damage, hail damage, tree damage, whatever the case may be. Then when your agent's going to tell you about time limitations of how to get things done, what to expect, whether or not you need estimates for that kind of stuff. So we're going to go through a little bit more.
Good.
And does any of that?
Oh, rings a bell.
Yeah, you've gone
made a
through
few
all
mistakes.
this.
Well, the other day that somebody had in Lee Summit had a electrical hit, a lightning hit, and you could just see where it's followed. But I understand sometimes that that you can't tell that right off the bat. Is that right, or?
You know, things, I know other clients that have come through and had things pop up as the repairs were getting fixed. They kept finding more and more things. That happens, and it should still all be part of the original claim.
Okay, should be part of the original claim. That's
Yeah.
good news.
And so again, working with your adjuster and going through that kind of stuff will really help you out.
Okay.
But definitely meet with an adjuster and find out what needs to be going on. One of the things that I think is very crucial is protect what's left. So if there is roof damage, get somebody up there as soon as possible and get it tarped and get it covered, if you will, because you don't want to get any more damage that's coming on, whether it's a tree that's fallen in a roof, or even your car with that tree that would hit. You know, you got to get that tree off of there as fast as you can. Take pictures and make sure that everything is working through that.
And that's kind of our responsibility as insured, isn't it? To protect what's
It is,
left.
because, you know, in the game, we'll be out there as fast as we can. One of the things I get asked all the time is, why don't I have insurance licenses in a lot of states like I do with my life insurance licenses? Well, I think one of the big reasons is I can only spread myself so thin.
Right.
You know, I'd love to be able to insure my friends in Texas and Florida and different things like that, but I'm a hands-on kind of guy. You know.
You are.
We're in the game with you guys,
Yeah.
and I can't see myself all over the country, because you know, things just happen that way.
Sense.
So
Yeah.
you know, the insurance companies actually, I don't know if it's a rule, but they kind of frown on you having multiple states. I am licensed in Missouri and Kansas though.
That makes sense. I mean, you can kind of.
I can be anywhere in Kansas, Missouri, within 8 hours, and help my clients
Well, that's
out.
good.
So whether it's Springfield, Wichita, you know, wherever, Kansas City, Liberty, St. Joe, we can be anywhere you need us to be.
That's good to know.
Definitely submit a list of the damaged or destroyed items and share the list with your adjuster. You know, make sure that you do your diligence. You mentioned that a minute ago. What do we have to do as insurers? List the things, you know, and make sure you have hard copies and keep those documentations. Get estimates. You know, maybe
So we can do that.
you can get estimates.
Okay.
Talk with your adjuster. He may have a lot of the insurance companies they don't necessarily come out and tell you which place to go to, but they have already been vetted. They have companies that they like working with, that they know are honest and sincere.
Well, that's important.
And that way they can guide you and direct you in where you might want to go. And that's really good to know that too. Then start the repair and replacement process. That's the 8 steps for filing a major claim.
Well, I probably have that down. Except that, we need to prepare and take care of what we have if you had damage. Yeah.
Some people ask, should I file a claim? And that's a great question. Because if the damage is less than your deductible, you probably are better off not filing the claim. The only time that really comes into question, I guess, if you will, if your deductible is $1,000 and your damage is $500, you probably want to just go ahead and pay the $500 because the insurance company could raise your rates. If it's multiple claims in a short amount of time, which I know that you've experienced as well,
Yes.
You could get canceled.
Yes.
And that's not good to do,
No,
to have that either. So
good.
be real cognizant. Just don't be insurance claim happy. Again, call us at In the Game. I'm Jay Hunt, and call Chris, call Ross, and we'll guide you through what you should be doing on that.
That's good.
I came across this article that I think is kind of important, so I'm going to list some problems and give us some solutions. And this is when to file a car insurance claim.
Okay.
Okay, we've kind of addressed homes. We may go back to that a little bit, but here's a problem that has been recognized. You put a dent in someone else's car, and they suggest settling it privately with cash.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, here's what you should tell your insurance company. Yes, don't make a private deal in case they demand more money later.
Oh.
Because you may say, okay, yeah, sure, here's $50, here's whatever, and then they have all your information, and they may come back and maybe they leave and get in another wreck,
Oh.
and now they're going to try to put it all on you. Okay.
Okay,
So
that's wise. That's wise.
there's kind of a fine line there. What you
Okay.
should do. You call serious damage to someone else's car. Should you tell your insurance company? Yes. Tell the insurer about the accident. There may be more damage done. We were talking about that in the home with finding out later on. When you hit a car and dent the car, there may be some internal things that you don't know. So you definitely want to tell your insurance company and have them acting on your behalf.
I had a friend that had that happen. It looked like one thing, and then all of a sudden, underneath the dent was a multitude of other little things.
It goes on
Price
and on and on.
escalates. Yes, good advice.
And here's another problem. You cause a car accident with injuries. Should you tell your insurance company? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need to tell the insurer injuries that can easily lead to big claims, so you want to do that. Here's a fourth problem. You accidentally cause small damage to your own car backing into a light pole. Well, don't bother. Don't bother calling your insurance company. If you have no collision and coverage or the damage is less than your deductible, there will be no claim anyway.
Right.
So just kind of eat that and chalk it up as a mistake, and be careful backing up in the future.
Yeah, that's right.
You accidentally cause a lot of damage to your own car. Well, you can contact your insurance company if you want, but again, it's back into the collision, it's back into the deductibles. Your rates may go up. You may have to just chalk that one up too.
Get it fixed and
yeah.
move on. Yeah. Okay.
Now I've got some articles here. We're gonna continue on with this. How to file a homeowner's claim.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
First and foremost, call us at In the Game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Call the police.
Oh. Okay.
Call the police and report if there's any problems. Okay. If there's any certain claims on your home, will require a police report to be filed.
I've heard that. Yes.
Call your insurance company, which you already have. You called us. Again, you can't stress enough. Document everything, especially if your home's been damaged or burglarized. And this is what we're talking about on this. It's not so much Mother Nature. We're talking if your home's been burglarized and things. And so you need to file that kind of claim. Definitely get the police involved. Hopefully you have all the documentation. So find all your records, so your videos, and that way you have them for the police to see what was stolen. If there's damage, we've talked about this before with leaking roofs or whatever, make sure you get that tarped, and anything you can do, hire an adjuster. anything you can possibly think of when it comes to making yourself get back whole again, if you will, and making sure. Here's one that you have in here, was what not to do when filing an insurance claim.
Okay, I'm gonna listen carefully.
Don't throw anything away.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it says in here that some people discard items too soon. Documentation,
Oh.
maybe it were broke into or whatever, and you clean up all the mess. Make sure that you've already got pictures, you know, because
Yes.
a lot of times things can happen and there's an impending storm. And so get the pictures and get everything documented as fast as you can, and that way, and then get the repairs done, you know, to make yourself, so there's no more damage. Don't wait too long to start getting things processed. You know, don't wait too long to call us at the end of the game. Don't wait too long to get an adjuster out there.
Like 24 hours, you think?
As fast as you can.
As fast as you can,
Get them notified, get us notified, and we
Okay.
can get the ball started rolling for you guys. You know, a lot of people say you need to understand your policy, and you do. You do, but you also just need to trust your agent, and that way they've got all the records, they've got all the information for you right then and there, and they'll know the steps to walk you through.
We need your help, Jay.
Well, heck, absolutely.
Not right now.
No. When to file a car insurance claim, we've talked a little bit about that.
Right.
Get a hold of us, tell your insurer what's involved, let them know. You don't want to try to just do all this on your own, because we talked before about the damage that could come down the road, you know. Some things that you just want to get the authorities involved, whether they're police or medical or whatever, because you don't want any crazy claims coming in. Tell your insurer when serious car damage or other injuries could be lurking. There's honest and dishonest drivers out there, you know, so you just...
I've heard about some of those where they kind of plan the accident and there you are.
I was talking with a client yesterday, and they were telling me they were at a quick trip, and they were waiting to back out.
Well,
And there's this car they thought was waiting to take their place.
right.
She backed into them, barely hit them, didn't even take one chip of paint off. They exchanged all the information. The guy was belligerent, the whole bit. Comes back later, and his insurance company said there was $900 worth of damage. She's like, I wasn't even doing a half a mile an hour. And so she should have taken pictures right then and there.
Of his damage.
But there was no damage.
Yeah.
But he got a hold of an unscrupulous somebody, and they came back through. And the next thing you know, she said, I didn't even get home, and the phone was ringing, and I got in, and it was their insurance company claiming there was $900 worth of damage, and they were paying it. So she immediately canceled that insurance company and went to another one. I said, you know that's going to show back up. She goes, I know, but you said you're going to pay for that. And you didn't do anything because you probably should have taken a little bit more time and care to maybe get the police involved. I know it was on private property, but you can still get the police involved. You get a hold of your agent, make sure, you know, what do I need to do? Because in the heat of the moment, we don't necessarily think of all the things.
No.
And people are unscrupulous.
Yes.
The guy got $900 for free, and there wasn't even a chip
Gosh.
in the car, because she looked at it.
When she should have taken a picture of her car
And
his car, maybe a picture of him and
Yeah.
driver's license and all that.
And he demanded all that from her, and she said, that's fine. But he's now used it against her, and now she's going to have this on anytime she goes to change insurance companies or anything. That this accident's going to show up for the next 3 years or so. So.
Oh man, you got to really watch it.
You really do. You know, that's one of the things on here with liability insurance. No coverage for collision. You know, if you back into a concrete post yourself, you're just going to have to just pay for that. You know.
Well, I mean, that's just assuming your own risk of driving the car.
It is.
I was going to ask you, not to be off the subject, but what should I have in my car if I have an accident? What should I say or do? I mean, do I say, I have such and such limits? I shouldn't talk about limits, should I?
No, it's best to let the insurance company or the agents work about that. You're not going to be your own mitigator when it comes to what, and it's really none of anybody else's business of what kind of coverage you have, and in my opinion. Now, as far as, when I was growing up, I was always told to have your title registration, your insurance card, and everything in your glove box. Well, I've grown up in the world, unfortunately, where there's a lot of unscrupulous people, and I don't like anything with my address in the car. You know,
Okay.
back in the day, remember when we used to have the remote controls for our garage doors?
Oh, yes.
You know, I'd take my car to the shop, I would take that out. Now they're built in. So the guy at the shop, and hopefully you're at a good shop, this wouldn't happen, but they could drive off with your car and go to your home and click and have access to your house. You know, that's, so if your car gets, if your car gets stolen, and you've got all your information in the glove box,
It's helpful for them, isn't it?
you just showed them where to go because
Oh, God.
they've got your card out.
Oh, gosh.
Now you've
We
got,
have man-eating dogs.
you got keys to their house basically with the
Oh,
built-in.
yes. Oh, my
So
gosh.
so I think you should carry it on person.
Uh-huh.
I don't think you should have that, but you're definitely required by law to carry your insurance card with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Your driver's license.
Driver's license, of course.
But that has your address on it.
Yeah, but you got it on person.
Okay, so.
You're not leaving that in the glove box.
No, okay.
You know, like when I first started, when I first was driving 16, you know, umpteen years ago, we kept everything in the glove box.
If you were saying.
I'm not a big advocate of that anymore, just because of people that are breaking into cars all the
Oh,
time.
yes.
You
You
know.
have your title in there, guess what?
Well,
I can just sell the car.
Yeah, don't keep your title in the car.
No. Oh, okay, okay, well, that's important stuff to know. It
Yeah, so
really
care-
is. Things have changed
Keep
too.
it on your person. Get a hold of your agent. You ask a question, and I'm trying to. I guess I'll get to the bottom. Why would somebody ask you what your liabilities and stuff were?
Well, I don't know, sometimes we get nervous and you think, well, I've got coverage of this, don't worry about it, I've got insurance, you know. You might say something like that, but you really shouldn't, I don't think.
You know, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think
Shouldn't
you're right.
say your limits, you just say, I have insurance coverage and
Pro-
talk to
provide them the
my
necessary-
agent, my agent.
Provide them the necessary insurance and your driver's license for proof of ID. In fact, with our phones, we keep talking about this in all the episodes. Take a photo of theirs and let them take a photo of yours, and that way everyone has it. Again, the heat of the moment stuff, we don't always clear think.
No.
If the police are involved, get a copy of that report, get a hold of your agent, we'll get a hold of the insurance company, we'll get a hold of the adjusters, and we'll get you,
Remember.
I know, and we'll get you back to where you were, hopefully as soon as possible. You know?
Well, that's comforting.
Again, you don't want anything to the repair or the replacement cost to exceed your deductible. I mean, if it does, that's when you should make a claim, but if it's anything under, you might want to just keep that on your own. You know, here's one that's happened to a lot of people is too many claims in too short of a period of time. People can be claim happy, so speak with your agent, guys, you know, and this is a good time to say if you have any questions, type one in. We're watching this show with you guys, and we'll be happy to, at the end of the game, be able to answer your questions, because this is such a broad topic, and there's so many generalities, in my opinion, of what is right, what is wrong. Every situation's different. However, I keep being a little bit redundant, I feel, as I'm talking right
No,
here.
I don't think so.
And it becomes over and over and over again, but, you know, get with your agent, give us a call. We want to help you and walk you through everything that's got to go on.
Now, on the insurance card, does it have your telephone number on it?
You know, I haven't even asked that. Mine.
Because we have to call you.
Yeah.
I mean, I should probably keep your card in the game card on my
Some
person.
of the companies put it on there.
Uh-huh.
Some of them don't. But you might. That's a great point. You might just write my number on there,
Yeah.
and
Now, what was that number?
my number. Great. Look at that. 816-260-6737. Didn't Pam a great guess?
Work that in there. But I need it,
260-6737. But write it on your card.
Uh-huh.
You guys have me in contacts on your phone anyway.
Yes.
But
I hope not too much.
Well.
Zing.
oh, it's Pam.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to have too many of those calls, but I'll always welcome your call.
Oh, thank you, Jay.
So,
Thank you.
that's funny. Here's some frequently asked questions.
Okay.
I spent a lot of money on my homeowner's policy over the last few years. What should I worry about filing a claim? Should I be able to use it when it's needed? Actually, you can file a claim anytime you want. I'm not trying to tell you can't, but working with your agent, we're going to walk you through is what's best and what's not. Someone recently broke into my house and stole a few of my belongings. If my homeowner's insurance deductible is more than the stolen items are worth, should I file a claim? No, don't file a claim. in this case. Not only won't your insurance company pay you anything, but we'll add the claim to your file. As a result,
Oh.
they may use the information to hike your rates or
Oh,
whatever.
that's not, oh, that's good news. Just, really consider filing a claim and, okay.
A windstorm just damaged my house. I have a feeling it won't cost too much to repair. In fact, I'm pretty sure the bill won't be much higher than my deductible, maybe just 500 or 1,000. Should I file a claim? Well, I think we've addressed that.
Right.
You know, when you get your agent, we get an adjuster out there, we get an estimator, and we're going to be able to help you to determine what we're going to do.
Now, let's kind of go over that again. So if I have a windstorm, and I don't think it's a lot of damage, and if I contact you, then it goes as a claim.
You contact us for advice,
Okay,
and I'll even come out and we'll take a look.
okay.
And I've got friends that are adjusters and stuff. We can get an estimate,
Okay,
and we'll help you determine whether or not we want to file that claim.
okay,
Because a good agent, especially us here in the game, we're going to know if you had any claims, and we're going to be walking that fine line about, wow, you know, this is way more. We're going to have to file the claim because you're going to be way out of pocket,
okay.
or the other way around. No, it's unfortunate you're going to have to dip into your wallet and get the $500, but it's best not to.
No, not, I agree.
So let's see, do we have any more? I have a rotting fence that surrounds my property. It finally fell over last weekend. Should I file a claim? Well, that's likely not going to be a good idea.
No, that's your responsibility.
It is. Personal care of your own belongings is your own responsibility. And if your fence is so old that it's going to rot and fall down with a windstorm anyway, you probably should have already addressed that. But you know, when you think.
Yes, I think you should have. Maintenance. You know, one of the things we've seen right now around this area is a lot of trees falling down. Can you give us some advice on what to do, or?
You know, I watch that on the news. A lot of times they don't know the trees are rotting on the inside until they fall down. And there's, as far as advice goes, I don't know, just be more proactive with your property. Walk around and make sure. I have several trees that lose limbs constantly, little bitty twigs, and I don't know why they're doing it. I've also got a couple of trees that I need to get an arborist out to get them trimmed up, topped off, or whatever the term is called. I know that this last winter with all that ice and stuff we had, I had one limb that was on my neighbor's house.
Oh.
And I felt bad, so I got out there and I had a big stick, and I'm sitting there breaking the ice off of it and doing what I can to get that off of her house, you know. And it was already leaning on her home, so even if that limb had broken, it was a pretty big limb, it would have fallen down, it wouldn't have caved in her home.
Right.
But I still feel responsible. There's a moral and an ethical evaluation, I think, that should be placed on whether or not you're responsible. It's my tree on her house.
Right.
You know, we talked earlier that it's not where the tree starts, where the tree ends. Well, but I would feel bad.
Right. You want to do what you can. I know we had neighbors, and it was a tree, and it looked like it was a pretty healthy tree, but we drove by the other night, and they're chopping it down, or I think it fell down, actually, and they're chopping it up, and all the center was out. So that tells you that was a rotten tree,
Right.
and maybe they didn't know about it, but fortunately it didn't hurt anything. It fell on their property, and probably have good firewood, but, you know, it's important, I think, for us to pay attention to those trees, especially in a lot of rain going on.
I was just going to say, in fact, coming down here today, I listened on the radio. Typical Kansas City has 38.5 inches of rain a year, and we're already at 32, and it's June.
I know.
So that brings up the point, though, the soils are so saturated that these trees with the big winds, I know last Friday, I was down at UMKC for college orientation day, and we just got into the parking garage, and then the storm came, and it was bad. And I got home that afternoon, and I was asking my neighbor, how was the storm? She goes, well, I left to go do something, and turned around, came back, turned on the news, and in, what is it called? Unity Village, they were clocking winds at 74 miles an hour.
Really? Oh.
So you get 74-mile-an-hour winds, a big tree, wet ground.
Yes.
You're going to have some topples over.
Right. Yeah. And we did.
And we did, and there's going to be that kind of stuff. But as far as I haven't had any damage done to my home with falling limbs. My neighborhood is relatively new at about 25 years old, so my trees are just now getting big enough to where things could maybe do some damage, but all across the neighborhood we don't have a whole lot of big trees. Not like my in-laws that had been in their home for 30-something years and the home was 10 or 15 years old and they had it, and these are 50-year-old trees or whatever, but just take care of your stuff.
Right.
Keep them trimmed and do whatever. You know, you can protect your vehicles with tarps, you know, or do whatever for hail. I know park in the garage if you have the availability to park your car in the garage. I know that that's always best too.
Well, my husband's very careful about that. We used to park just right outside, but because of all the hail we've had recently and the windstorms, he is, you know, diligent about putting that car in the garage. So we try to be good about that.
I know that we have a 2-car garage and we have a toy car, so it gets to stay in there. And then the other spot, my baby girl has the newest car, and my wife's car has hail damage, so it might as well stay outside.
Yeah.
And I've got 203,000 miles on my car, so the girl
baby
gets
girl gets
the baby girl gets. In fact, there's
Oh
been a couple of different times where I've gone to school and traded her cars to get hers in the garage before the hail
You
stuff.
see the light.
We got a really nice car at a really good deal, and in fact, when my wife and her were out looking for cars, they came across this, and I've got all the documentation. This little old lady thought that she understood the car dealer saying that she could only put 5,000 miles on this 3-year lease. Well, he did say that 5,000 a year for a 3-year lease. So she turned that in, the 3-year lease with 4,985 miles on it.
Oh my gosh.
And we got the steal of a lifetime.
Oh, you did? That is great.
And so this car's so cherry that, you know, and it's a 2014 with, you know, with 5,000 miles. Well, now she's put on 15,000 miles, and because she's driven it to school half of her sophomore, all of her junior, senior year, now getting ready to take it to college. But so yeah, the baby girl, and she's a baby girl as well.
I know.
But,
She's your baby.
Yeah, that's how that
She's
happens.
your baby.
We have one here. We've been speaking about all this rain. I bet there's some water damage in some people's homes. What do you think about that?
That probably so. Probably so.
We talked about preventing additional damage. If you can find the source of the leak, was it a tree falling in or whatever? Is your sump pump, can you figure out something? You know, a lot of people have backup sump pumps.
Really?
And it's not a bad thing to have. They're not that expensive to have on. Even a battery backup to your sump pump.
No, you have your regular sump pump, and then you have one just there in case the other one goes out. Is that what you do?
It's installed at the same time, but one will take over when the other one don't.
Really?
And there's also, if you don't want the second sump pump, make sure yours is battery backup, because a lot of times when we have water that's coming in, we probably have lost power.
Yes, and there you are. No.
And now your basement's going to flood and different things like that. Ross was talking in an early episode about the cracks in the foundation. For $9 extra a year, this guy would have had protection. You know, get with your agent, see if it's something. I don't have a sump pump in my house, my neighbor does, and the reason why I don't is they consider mine a walkout, where we could squeegee out if we had to.
Oh, okay.
So you may or may not need a sump pump, but protect your valuables, secure your valuables. Record the proof of the water damage. Take pictures, videos.
Okay, take pictures, videos.
So important, so important. Preserve any broken parts that may have caused the water to damage to even take place. Review your insurance policy, and it's best to do that before it happens. You want to see if you're covered for floods or sewer drain, accidental water damage from your air conditioner. You know, they can be.
No? How's that work?
Well, and that's a good point.
Or how doesn't it work? Or...
My air conditioner last summer was over condensating, okay? And so I have a drain right there, and the drain was clogged. And it was filling up. Well, the next thing you know, my wife goes, "We don't have any hot water." I don't know what? There's these new hot water heaters have a sensor that senses humidity. And they will automatically shut off to protect themselves when the basement's flooded. And so here I had this clogged drain. We get that fixed. Then the next thing you know, I thought so it was a matter of getting the manual out and going through, and I didn't have to replace my hot water heater because I had just done that,
Uh-huh.
you know, maybe a year or two before. But I didn't know that was such a thing on the hot
Oh,
water
I
heaters.
never heard of that. Okay, it's good information.
Well, you know,
Yes.
You want to restore the water damaged furnishings, electronics, and personal items, so that's about reviewing your policy, making sure that you're going to be covered on that.
Okay.
Definitely take a detailed inventory of all your damaged possessions.
Picture is what you're saying. If I keep on my phone, should I make hard copies too?
Well, you
Or
can save it
some?
to the cloud, I guess.
Save it to the cloud,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Okay.
If you wanted to make hard copies, put them in your safe, but I think that's just going a little bit too much.
Okay, as long as
you know.
I'm on my phone. Okay.
I'm big into keeping stuff in the safe, but you know, it is what it
With
is.
our luck on phones though, we're not doing too good, are we?
We were talking today, I dropped mine the other day, and
And I stepped on mine, or something happened with mine. Mine's a disaster, so we're back to our phone company.
yeah, and here, it just cracks me up. We're of an age.
Cracks us up. That's not a good word for us.
I know. We're of an age, and not being offensive to either one of us at our ages, but we didn't grow up with these darn things in our
No,
hands.
we got
And,
them
you know, I was at the phone store the other day, and there's this little kid, he couldn't have been 8 years old. He was over there just playing with the computer, and I'm like, man, how do they know this stuff?
I don't
Or
know.
are they born knowing how they work these
Yeah.
phones? And
You know, they say, this is kind of slightly off the subject.
No, I understand.
Kids are now, you know, parents are giving the little pads, tablets, and they're doing, you know, two years of age, they're messing with them.
Yeah.
And so they just grown up with them, and that's just like, you know, mini TV or computer combination. And they say actually that's not really good. They say that there's some cognitive problems when a child just does too much on the computer or tablet. You should wait till you know a little bit older, and then limit the time.
well, let alone not developing social skills.
Right.
You know,
Oh yes, yes.
You know, but
Very to themselves.
you know, here's a heading in here that says what not to do when filing a claim, and one of the big things I think people might want to get ahead of the game is make permanent repairs before they actually get approved from the insurance company to do so.
I can see people anxious to get it
They're
all back.
anxious to get things
and
done,
not
but-
wait.
But like I've been saying over and over, call me, get a hold of your agent, take copies, take pictures, get an adjuster, get documentation of everything that's going on before you go in, because you may have paid for some stuff that isn't going to be covered, and
And you might be upset with that.
right, and now you're going to be double spending, and not only have you got to pay your deductible, you've already paid all these claims, and then you're not getting a refund for it. So, you know, there's just crazy things that you need to talk with.
You know, we don't want you on fast dial, but we want want your phone number. Right.
We're 35. Okay, we could probably wrap this up. I don't.
Oh, it's very interesting.
There are some different things on here that have been interesting, but again, at In the Game Insurance, guys, you know, we want to be in the game with you, and
And you,
we hope to be your one-stop. Give us a call, and we'll help you out the best we can. So thank you, Pam.
okay, thank you for asking me.
Again, 816-260-6737. I'm Jay Hunt with In the Game Insurance Services.
Woohoo!
Got to keep going.
Okay.
I think he wants me at a certain time. Say what again? I know, I'm sorry. My phone number is 816-260-6737.
Give him a call.
You love this stuff behind the scenes, guys. It's
Yeah,
great.
jumping up and down
Yeah.
and tell us what to do.
That's all right.